Well, good day all. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. I am brand new at making YouTube videos, so I'm not a professional. Don't ever profess to be. But today we're going to make another 5x7 card, this time using the Stencil by GinaK Designs, Delightful Blooms. And for this project, I'm going to need my 5x7 cardstock. This is a piece of 10 by 5, and I scored it down the middle, folded it, and then creased it with my bone folder. Also going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and I can set that aside. An inner layer of cardstock, which is 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. And then the final layer, which is 4 3/8 by 6 3/8. And this is what we're going to be working on first. And then I had a die cut, just this round scalloped circle. I don't know who made these dies. I wished I did. If anyone out there knows who did. When I started doing this, I didn't write down whose company was whose. So I honestly do not know who that is from. But I cut that out, and we're going to use that for our sentiment. And I'll set that aside for later. I'm also going to be using this rubber stamp sentiment. This was a garage sale find, so I don't know who made this, but it said, "Blessed are they who see beautiful things in humble places where other people see nothing." And we'll set that aside for later. The inks I'm going to be using today are the GinaK Designs Light Carnation, Medium Carnation, Dark Carnation, Jelly Bean Green, Fresh Asparagus, and Black Onyx. We're going to start with the stencils first. So let's take some of these inks off and make a little room here. I am going to be using a light grip or standard grip. It's a sticky mat that I got from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to place this on here, kind of like that, giving a little edge. And I want my flowers to be up at the top, but kind of centered at the same time. And then I'll just put that down there. We're going to start with a light carnation today. I'll ink that up really well. And here we go. That's where I want it, I think. That'll be perfect. And then just gently, you want to be gentle with this stencil because it has these little sticking out points that are very delicate, and if you rub too hard and go the wrong way, you could end up bending that back. But this makes a beautiful design. This is my third card I've made with this today, and I'll show you the other two towards the end of the video. Just putting our light color down first, and you can do these in any 3 colors that you would like for the flowers. And here comes my furnace again. My craft room is in the basement right beside the furnace, so unfortunately we're going to hear that until summertime comes. And then layer 2, get that in place. And for that, we're going to use the medium carnation. And you don't need to wipe off your brush since you're going up 3 colors. I use the same brush for all colors in this color palette. And we'll put that down. This one you can be a little more firmer with because this piece doesn't have the delicate centers that can come up. I am enjoying making these videos, whether anyone watches them or not. It's just kind of fun for me to record what I'm doing, to see what I have done and what I still could improve on. Now layer 3, I'm only going to be using for the centers here right now because I want to keep this. But before I start that, this white circle we cut out earlier, I'm just going to kind of add a little bit of this pink to it. whatever's left on the brush. And we'll let that sit there. And now we're taking the dark carnation. And there's only 2 little spots here that we'll use that with. Okay. And now take what's left on your brush and add to this circle. Just to kind of make it a little cloudy looking, not solid pink, just like that. That's all I want it to be. And now for the 4th layer for the flower, just use what's on your brush still. And that gives you the little center. Now I'm going to change my color, and we're going to go with the Jelly Bean Green. Just kind of line this up where you want your flower to be. I'm thinking right about there. Your leaf, not your flower. We'll start with the Jelly Bean Green and ink it up really well. Now this one has, this is what I was talking about earlier. This little piece of the center leaf wants to stick up. So I tend to go this way on that particular leaf, just in one direction. And we're just putting down a medium heavy layer, not a real heavy layer, just medium. And then we'll take that away. And now I am going to just put down a piece of cardstock down here because I tend to be a messy crafter. And so I don't want to get, oh, that was 4. Oh yeah, 4. I don't want to get ink on the card where I don't want it to be. And I have a tendency to do that. Okay, get that lined up just right. And I'm going to put this underneath here, just like that. Now we'll use the fresh asparagus for the darker color. This is a quick and easy card. If you need a quick card for any occasion, this is a nice card to do with this stencil. I just love it. And we're just adding a little bit of highlights with the jelly bean. And like that. I see it did get some pink in there, but that's okay. All right, now we can set these stencils aside, and I'll wash them in a few moments when we're done. And then you can take this card off. And now we're ready to put the card together. And I'm going to use my Tombow liquid glue. It gives a little bit of leeway when you're gluing it down to your card. So if you don't get it quite right, you have some wiggle time to maneuver it around. And that's just a very, very thin layer. I'm going to try and get it as even as I can. And we'll put that down there. Then we'll glue this to the pink layer. And then glue this to the card front itself. You could even do this if you like a top fold card instead of a side fold card. My preference is the side fold. I occasionally do top folds, and I'll have to do one of those for you guys to see. Now I'm just going to set this aside for a minute, and I have this really big heavy stamping block that I sit on there just to kind of hold things together. And now I'm going to get out my Misty. And would you believe, aha, here it is. I lost it for a quick moment. I have already removed the foam pad in here because this rubber stamp is thick. Now we're just going to put this circle down and kind of stick it in place and just kind of judge where I think the center of this is. Put that down. And now I'm going to use the GinaK Designs Black Onyx ink, one of my favorite black inks for stamping. I used to use StazOn quite a bit, and I still do for certain applications, but this I find much better. And my real expensive Chucky tool here works great, by the way. And that looks perfect. So I'm going to take this off, clean off my stamp pad, or my ink rubber stamp, I mean. And I just use an old washcloth and water. And that's cleaned off, and I'll just set that aside for now. Now I'm going to use some pop-up tape on the back of this. It's, I'd say about 1/8 of an inch thick. And I'll just cut that down. Just gives it a little loft, but not too high up. And let's see where we want to put it on here. I'm thinking, I don't honestly know. You know what I want to do? I want to take a little bit of the green ink, and I need a scratch piece of paper for that. I'm just going to put a little bit of the green on the edges of this, whatever's left on my brush, just to give it a little contrast. There we go. Yes, that's better. It kind of coordinates better with the card. And I'm thinking my placement right here. So let's just peel the backs off here. Let's set my scrap paper aside. And right there. Now I'm also going to put on a few silver sequins. See where might I want to put them? Oh, how about one on that leaf to kind of cover up where I put pink? And I want one here. And I think one here. No, it really doesn't need that. There. What I will do is I'll get I have a, let's see. Thought I had a Q-tip right close by, but I do have a paintbrush. So I'm going to take a little bit of my Jelly Bean Green on a paintbrush and see if I can cover up just make it look a little bit, oh, this is going to look bad. So we will kind of spread it out here a little bit. And to make it look like that's what I meant to happen. We will put it on all the leaves to make it look like it was meant to be that way. And this will fade back a little bit. That's one thing I like about the GinaK inks, is that they will soften up a little. Some of you are probably going, oh no, that still looks bad. But let's see what the final project brings. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad for me from my angle, and I'll show you that later. Now I'm going to use my GinaK Connect glue and put down these sequins. And this is close to my heart. It's just a wax stick, and you can sharpen it with your pencil. I got this at a rubber stamp convention that I attended several years ago, and I just can't find these on their website anymore, and I would love to get more. So if anyone knows any company out there that may not be close to my heart, but it's just a wax stick that can go in the pencil sharpener. And there, our card is done. Now, I'm going to show you an envelope that you can, I like to coordinate my envelopes with the card. So we're going to get these stencils back that I set aside over here. I'm going to get layer 1 and just put it, make sure I have my corner correct. Get out my pink inks again. Down. That's layer 1. Layer 2 is the medium carnation. Yeah, I'll get this going the right direction here. Let's see. Where? Well, yeah, there we go. Sometimes it takes me a while to figure out the puzzle. There's layer 2. Put the cap back on and get 3 and 4. I have 4. What did I do with layer 3? Oh my goodness, I have misplaced layer 3. Oh no, here it is, way up there. All right. Layer 3. And layer 4, what I'm going to do is I have a scrap piece of paper, and I'll use this one, and just kind of rub off quite a bit that's on my brush. And then go back in with layer 4 here. There, and the envelope is done. Okay, and this is how this card would look. I'm going to show you the ones I did earlier today. Just to show you that you don't have to use the same company's inks if you don't happen to have the same company's inks. Now this one I did a stamp sentiment of "May time heal your heart and memories comfort your soul with sympathy." And for that I did like an olive green background with the black inner layer, I'm sorry, not background. And then I used, these are the GinaK inks in the light, medium, and dark lilac, and then the jelly bean green and fresh asparagus. And now for my blue card, which I did a bright card that says happy birthday. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot of blues, though it's one of my favorite colors. So I used Holtz Distress Oxide. Oh gosh, I can't remember the color. Let me get the color here real quick for you. I used the Holtz Distress Oxide in tumbled glass for the light color. Then for the medium color, I did have a blue GinaK in blue raspberry. And for the darker center, I used a Catherine Puller Mini in suede shoes. And that's as quick and easy as a card that you can possibly do. I hope you have enjoyed this brief video on how to make mistakes and fix it. And see, I kind of like how this looks on the leaves. It gives a little bit more color, more shading. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and good night.